Hello everybody, welcome to Bajirao IAS Academy. So in today's lecture, we have some important current affairs for Arunachal Pradesh Public Service Commission prelims examination, right? So specifically for this particular state Public Service Commission examination. So we'll have a few more sessions, and those sessions primarily focuses on Arunachal Pradesh State Public Service Commission prelims examination. So that is going to be held very soon, right? So one by one, we'll discuss all these important articles because we have some very important topics. So those topics which are in use last 24 hours, and they are also important for the prelims exam perspective. So one by one, we'll try to discuss all these important articles in this particular session. And the first topic that we are going to start this discussion is with a new plant species was discovered in Arunachal Pradesh. So the name of this new plant species is Myojene arunachalensis, right? So this is the new plant species because it is also very important when we talk about Arunachal Pradesh and the rest of the northeastern states. Most of the northeastern states are lies in eastern Himalayas, right? So because of that reason, very often new discoveries are often takes place, whether it is fauna or flora. So this new plant species will try to understand some details with respect to this particular plant species. A significant botanical discovery has been made in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, which is part of Eastern Himalayas, because researchers have recently identified a new species of tree. Okay, so they have identified a new species of tree, and they have named this tree as Myojene arunachalensis. Okay, so that is the new name of the plant that is recently discovered in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So we'll understand what are the special features or the special characteristics features of this particular plant species. So remember that we have Western Ghats, we have Himalayas, including the Eastern Himalayas, and we also have the Eastern Ghats and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And India is also one of the biodiversity hotspots. So therefore, very often there are discovery of new plant and animal species, and in fact, such discoveries are also asked in prelims and even UPSC prelims examination also. So because of that reason, it would be better if you have some basic understanding about such discoveries as well. Now, when it comes to the specific features of this Myojene arunachalensis plant species, is that it exhibits a morphological similarity. So morphologically, this particular plant species is also similar to another same variety of species called Myojene maxiflora. So Myojene maxiflora is another plant species that is similar to this Myojene arunachalensis. So morphologically, so they have been exhibiting some similarities, and this Myojene maxiflora is found in Thailand, right? A Southeast Asian nation, Thailand, so where we can find this Myojene maxiflora, but Myojene arunachalensis has been recently discovered in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And in fact, Myojene arunachalensis stands out as the largest species of Myojene genus. And because of that reason, it is very significant because this Myojene arunachalensis is the largest species of this Myojene genus. And in fact, the recorded habitat of Myojene arunachalensis in Arunachal Pradesh include East Siang district and also the Namdapha National Park. Now, it is also important that you should go through the map of the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and you should also try to identify, try to locate the national parks, the biodiversity reserves or biosphere reserves, wildlife sanctuaries, because Namdapha National Park and Pakwai National Park or Tiger Reserve, I think. So they were already asked in the prelims examination of UPSC. So therefore, they are very important. But going into the lecture, so we'll understand that as well. Wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves, and also national parks in the state of Arunachal Pradesh and rest of the northeastern part of India. However, the habitat of this newly discovered plant species, that is Myojene arunachalensis, is in the East Siang district and Namdapha National Park in Changlang district, Both are located in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So I hope it is clear for you. You have understood this, right? So this is a new plant discovery in Namdapha National Park and East Siang district of Arunachal Pradesh. So next topic is again a new discovery of fauna species, right? So it is special because a new music frog species discovered in Arunachal Pradesh. So because of that reason, it is important, because the frog that has been newly discovered in the state of Arunachal Pradesh is also known as a music frog. Because of that reason, it is important. So in a groundbreaking discovery, like how Myogene arunachalensis, a plant species, was recently discovered. In a similar way, a music frog was also discovered in the state of Arunachal Pradesh recently. Scientists have identified a new species of frog, music frog, in the lush landscape of Arunachal Pradesh. So you can see, so this is how the music frog looks. Okay, so this is how the music frog looks, and in fact, they have given a name to this music frog as well. So what is that name? Its name is Nidirana Noding. Okay, so Nidirana Noding is the name that has been given to this newly discovered frog species. And in fact, this newly discovered music frog species also exhibits some distinct phenotypic characteristics that set it apart from its congeners. Right? So because of its unique features that this music frog has, so it is quite different from its congeners. And in fact, when we talk about the morphological traits of this music frog, right? So the morphological traits are different for male frog and the female frog as well, right? So in fact, the non-Noah-dehing music frog boasts a robust body. It is having a robust body, and in fact, the male frogs measuring approximately 1.8 to 2.3 inches. However, females which are bigger in size than the males ranging from 2.4 to 2.6 inches. Right? I hope it is clear for you, right? So the female frogs are bigger and larger than the male frogs in these music frog. So the name of this music frog is Nidirana novading. And what is the habitat of this Nidirana novading or the music frog? And in fact, the frogs were discovered in or nestled within the vegetation in shallow pools of water or less depth water, with male frogs emitting loud calls. Right, so male frogs are responsible for emitting loud calls, and because of that reason, these frogs are called as music frogs. And this is how this music frog usually look like. And next, we need to talk about three new to science frogs discovered in Arunachal Pradesh. So apart from music frog, there are other two frogs are also discovered. So we'll try to understand about that as well. Right. So these are all new discoveries. Right. So why new discoveries? Because Arunachal Pradesh is having, a good amount of biodiversity. We could say that it is having rich biodiversity in the eastern Himalayas. So because of that reason, very often there are such discoveries takes place, whether it is plant species or animal species. I have already explained this to you. So scientists have reported three new frog species, and these three new frog species belonging to a new genera from Arunachal Pradesh, Namdafa and Kamlang Protected Area Network. So remember, I've already told you that this Namdapha National Park is very important. It is regularly in use. And apart from this being regularly in use, it is also a rich biodiversity area. However, these three new frog species are found in Arunachal Pradesh, Namdapha Kamlang Protected Area Network along the Indo-Myanmar border. So we all knew that Arunachal Pradesh shares its borders with Myanmar, and Namdapha Kamlang Protected Network Area is also located along the Arunachal Pradesh and Myanmar border area. So what are those three new frog species that are recently discovered? So the first one that we have already discussed, right? So Nidirana Noading. So that is a music frog that we have already discussed about that. Okay, so it is a marsh dwelling music frog because the male frog species emit a certain sounds. Because of that reason, it is called as music frog and it is named after a Noah Dihing river. So this Nidirana Noah Dihing frog species is named after a Noah Dihing river in that particular area. And what are those two other species of frog that are also recently discovered in Namdafa Kamlang Protected Area Network? So one is Gracijalis, Patkiensis. That is also a frog species, and in fact, it is a translucent green tree frog with a jelly-like appearance and insect-like call. Right? So this is also a new frog species, and the third new frog species is Achelous fontanellis. So that is also another frog species. Also, it is a tiny brown frog. So that has been inhabiting fast flowing hill streams with a unique trickling vocalization. Now, how questions could be framed? So I would tell you that how questions could be framed for from this particular aspect. So recently, Nidirana Novading and Alacalus fontinalis and also Patkiensis were in use. So they represent what? They represent what? Or whether they represent amphibians, they represent fish, they represent birds. So that's how questions are being asked, and already UPSC has also asked such a question, right? So whether it is representing reptiles, amphibians, and such questions are being asked. So therefore, it is very important. But you should remember, so all these important new discoveries from the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and the next topic. So within this, so between India and Myanmar lies the Namdapha National Park and Kamleng Tiger Reserve. So I would like to show you the Namdapha National Park here. So you can see, so this is Namdapha National Park and Kamleng Tiger Reserve. So it is also important you should have to locate them where they are actually, because there may be some questions which are which can be asked as well, right? So arranging them from north to south, south to north, east to west, something like, right? So they lies along the India and Myanmar borders. You can see this is Namdapha National Park and Tiger Reserve along with the Kamlang Tiger Reserve, right? So in fact, it is the northernmost tropical rainforest, and in fact, it is not just the northernmost tropical rainforest. Now, I hope you knew what is a tropical rainforest. So, tropical rainforest is an area or a region, which receives highest rainfall around 200 centimeters of rainfall, and trees generally don't shed their leaves, so always appear green. And there's also huge biodiversity in the rainforest, tropical rainforest areas. Generally, tropical rainforests we found across the equatorial regions. So therefore, this is the northernmost tropical rainforest experimentally harboring unique crossover biodiversity. Right? So how a unique crossover biodiversity? Because it has been representing the biodiversity, or the life of both eastern Himalayas as well as the Southeast Asia. So that is a unique crossover, that is a unique combination of living organisms, indicating both these different ecosystems. And in fact, the recent findings about these new frog species takes India's documented total number of amphibians to around 470 species. So that means in India we have around 470 species of amphibians. Now in this you need to remember about the Namdafa and Kamleng tiger reserves, and apart from that, their location and newly discovered frog species. So you should remember them and they are very important for your exam. So the next topic is the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, along with the Central Road Research Institute, which is also known as CRRI. So they have come up with a unique technology of road construction. Now, what is that unique technology? That is Reju Pave technology. So that is a very unique way of constructing roads because Arunachal Pradesh is a high altitude region and temperatures are also low in Arunachal Pradesh several places. And in fact, so when we talk about Arunachal Pradesh, in recent times, there are border incursions from the Chinese side. And in order to prevent such border incursions and aggressive and assertive moves from the Chinese side, it is very important that we need to quickly mobilize our defense forces as early as possible to those frontiers. However, if we don't have the connectivity, how can we mobilize our defense forces? Now, apart from the mobilization of the defense forces, it is also very important that we need to connect otherwise unconnected regions. Connectivity is very important because if we want any region to be developed, so the first thing that we need to consider is improving the infrastructure, particularly connectivity. However, the problem is because of high altitude, difficult terrain, lower temperatures, very often it is not possible to construct the roads. So generally one organization which deals with the construction of roads in these strategic areas is the Border Roads Organization. So I hope the background is very clear for you. Now we'll discuss about this. So they have invented a new technology of road construction that is a Rejupave technology, and this Rejupave technology has been recently deployed in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so we'll go into this and we'll discuss about this as well. So India's a premier road construction agency. So what is India's premier road construction agency or organization? That is Border Roads Organization, which is also known as BRO, because that construct roads in strategically important areas in India. And it has recently utilized an indigenously developed road construction technology, and this indigenously developed road construction technology is also known as Rejupave technology, and it has been developed by the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Central Road Research Institute. It is a collaborative effort from Council for Scientific and Industrial Research as well as Central Road Research Institute, a collaborative institute. And in fact, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research is part of Ministry of Science and Technology. Right, so what is this technology? What is this Rejupave technology and what are the advantages and how we can use this technology to lay down roads in such a rigid conditions? So Rejupave technology allows construction of high altitude bituminous roads, right? So generally we see roads, whether it is national highways, state highways, so those roads are bituminous roads. However, this Rejupave technology involves construction of bituminous roads in high altitude regions, particularly under low and sub-zero temperatures. So generally, it is not possible to construct bituminous roads in low and sub-zero temperatures. It's not possible. So when we are not able to construct bituminous roads in such a low temperatures, how can we improve our connectivity? How can we mobilize our security forces to the frontiers, particularly India-China border? Because in recent times, the border incursions have increased manifold. So in order to overcome this, they have come up with this new technology, and that new technology permits the construction of bituminous roads under low and sub-zero temperatures, and that is the advantage of it. And in fact, this innovative technology was recently implemented for the first time in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So that is why it is very, very important. I'm stressing it again and again, right? So this innovative technology was recently implemented by the Border Roads Organization to construct parts of the world's highest Sela Road tunnel. So remember that Sela Road tunnel is also in Arunachal Pradesh, right? So that connects Tawang, right? So this Rejo technology has been recently used in the parts of world's highest Sela Road tunnel and also LGG, Damting and Yangtze Road near China border in Arunachal Pradesh, and because of that reason this Rejupave technology is in use. Now what is the significance of implementation of such a technology? So you can see here on the image that Rejupave technology can be used in the construction of bituminous road at Sela Tunnel and LGG, Damting and Yangtze Road at an altitude of 14,000 and 18,000 feet, a very high altitudes. And in fact, it decreases production and rolling temperatures and also maintaining the quality during the harsh winters as well. And that is the one of the significant aspect with respect to this Rejupave technology implementation. And in fact, what are the benefits of this Rejupave technology? It reduces heating requirements with bio oil based asphalt modifier. It enhances road longevity, durability, and it also offers better resistance to thermal cracking as well. And it also aids environmental conservation by reducing a significant amount of greenhouse gases as well. So these are the benefits of implementing this Power technology, and that is why it is very, very important that we need to focus on such technologies to improve connectivity in otherwise unconnected regions. So I hope it is clear for you. And next topic is Sela Tunnel. So Sela Tunnel has been recently inaugurated in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, right? So it is also important for us to understand what is this Sela Tunnel and Sela Tunnel. What is the purpose of constructing Sela Tunnel? So we'll understand this. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi this year dedicated the Sela Tunnel to the nation. And in fact, the Sela Tunnel is a strategic infrastructure project and that is located in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Now, why it is a strategically important infrastructure project? So it is strategically important because it helps the Indian government to quickly mobilize our defense forces to the India-China border, right? So in case of any skirmishes between Indian and Chinese defense forces. Now China has the advantage of quickly mobilizing its troops to the borders, but still India lags behind. We do not have the infrastructure, the level of infrastructure that is required to quickly mobilize a defense personnel. So it is not just about the defense personnel. So in order to sustain war or in order to sustain our defense personnel at the frontiers, at the borders, it is also important to supply all necessary essentials to them. So in order to do so, we need to have a robust infrastructure projects which are strategic in nature, and at the same time those connectivity projects must reduce the time required to travel between two different points. And that's why the Sela Tunnel is known as a strategically important infrastructure project, and that is located in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so you can see here on the image that this is the location where the Sela Pass tunnel is located between Tawang and Bomdila. And in fact, by constructing this tunnel, the total time travel has been reduced by at least 1 hour. And in fact, this tunnel provided all weather access or connectivity and it is also very critical for the troop mobilization and year-round access to Tawang. So Tawang has the monastery, and Tawang is also a very important Buddhist site as well, right? So in fact, the Sela Tunnel is world's longest by-lane road tunnel. Okay, so this is world's longest by road tunnel. So that's why it is important that you need to remember. So by-line means two lines, right? So this tunnel built at an altitude of 13,000 feet. So it's not easy. It's an engineering marvel, I would say, right? So because it requires a lot of expertise to construct or to build such a tunnel at such a high altitude. And in fact, this Sela tunnel expected to provide all-weather connectivity to strategically important Tawang district. So Tawang district is strategically important because Tawang district is very close to Bhutan and it is also very close to China as well. And we need to have a very quick access to Tawang because China has claims over Tawang, and in fact China has claims over the entire Arunachal Pradesh. So they are illegitimate claims, right? So they are illegitimate claims, and time and again the Indian government has been strongly objecting renaming of places in Arunachal Pradesh, right? So therefore, Tawang is strategically important. So therefore, we need to have the all-weather connectivity to Tawang. So we need to access Tawang irrespective of the weather conditions that have been providing there. So that's where the Sela Tunnel plays a very important role here. So that's why it is a strategically important. Okay, so it also help a quick movement of troops to the India-China border as well to stop the border incursions of Chinese troops into the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the virtual inauguration of this tunnel project, right? So he not directly came to Arunachal Pradesh, but virtual inauguration of this Sela Tunnel project at the Vikasit Bharat and Vikasit Northeast program that has been organized in Itanagar. Okay, so apart from this, as I have already told you, that this is the world's longest by-lane road tunnel at such a high altitude. So as I've already told you that this has been built at such a high altitude, so therefore it is not easy to build such a tunnels at a high altitude. And in fact, this has been built by the premier roads construction organization, that is Border Roads Organization, and in fact it connects Assam's Tejpur to the West Kameng district of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so in fact, this project has been completed within just 5 years, despite there are a lot of challenges posed by the difficult and diverse weather conditions. So weather regularly changes and difficult terrain. So in those conditions, it's not easy to complete projects on time, right? So projects are very often delayed. So if projects are delayed, so project cost would also increase. But so this project has been completed within just 5 years, despite difficult conditions prevailing there. So, however, one thing that you need to understand about the Sela tunnel is that this tunnel has been constructed using a new Australian tunneling method. So, this method has been used for the construction of this tunnel, and this is new Australian tunneling method, and it also incorporates safety features of the highest standards, right? So apart from that, this tunnel is also expected to provide faster and more efficient transport route in the region, and it is also expected to prove to a strategically very important for the country. So I have already explained now why it is a strategically important Sela tunnel is. So next, very important, so extension of Armed Forces Special Powers Act in Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. So earlier, Arunachal Pradesh was completely out of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, but recently this year, the central government has decided to extend Armed Forces Special Powers Act to some districts of Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. So we'll understand about this as well. Okay, so recently the Ministry of Home Affairs has taken a decision that the Armed Forces Special Powers Act would be further extended to certain districts of Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland for an additional 6 months. Okay, so for a 6 more months, this Armed Forces Special Powers Act would be extended in both Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland, and that was effective from April 1st, 2024. Okay, so that was effective from April 1st, 2024. That means it would have already, uh, completed, right? So in fact, after assessing the law and order situation in both Nagaland and Arunachal Pradesh, the central government has taken this decision of extending Armed Forces Special Powers Act to both Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. So I hope you knew about the Armed Forces Special Powers Act and its draconian provisions, because very often imposition of this Armed Forces Special Powers Act has been criticized by people and the civil rights organizations, human rights groups in these states, because this Armed Forces Special Powers Act that was passed by the Parliament in the year 1958 grants sweeping powers, unlimited powers to the security forces in areas which are being deemed as, or which are being certified as, disturbed areas. So in order to restore law and order in those disturbed areas, the central government gives sweeping powers. Also, this legislation gives sweeping powers to the armed forces. And that's how it has been criticized, as it has been violating the human rights of the people. It has led to the killing of number of people. There were allegations against the armed forces misusing the provisions of this Armed Forces Special Powers Act. So that's why it has been criticized, because the provisions are draconian in nature and they are also infringing on the human rights of the people as well. So under Armed Forces Special Powers Act, armed forces personnel are authorized. So they are authorized to search, arrest, and they can even open fire if they want it. Right? So they can search, arrest, and even open fire if they deem necessary for maintaining the public order, right? So there has been always a criticism against this Armed Forces Special Powers Act. So this act was enacted in the year 1958 by the Parliament, and in fact, it is a contentious Armed Forces Special Powers Act because it gives armed forces sweeping, search, and arrest powers, and it also provides them certain immunities in areas which are being declared as disturbed by the governments. And as I've already told you that this was passed in the year 1958. Okay, so in fact there are some states where this Armed Forces Special Powers Act has been is enforced, such as Nagaland, Assam, Manipur, and Arunachal Pradesh. So there are some areas in Arunachal Pradesh, and apart from that, Meghalaya also, Jammu and Kashmir. However, this Armed Forces Special Powers Act has been lifted from Tripura in 2015, Mizoram in 1986, Punjab and Chandigarh imposed in 1963 and lifted in 1997. Okay, so I hope it is clear about Armed Forces Special Powers Act. So next is another discovery of another fauna species in Arunachal Pradesh. Right, so its name is Sumanis and Siangensis. Okay, Sumanis siangensis, a new wasp discovered in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so a new wasp species has been discovered in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and its name is Sumanis siangensis. Okay, so entomologists of the Ashoka Trust for Research in Ecology and Environment So they have found a new species. Okay, so the new species of water wasp in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and they have particularly discovered this in eastern Himalayas. And in fact, the wasp is named as Suminis siangensis, and it was named after the Siang Valley where this wasp species has been discovered. Right? I hope it is clear. So this is how this wasp species usually looks, and this is the new discovery by the entomologists. So the wasp is about 30.2 mm long, and it also has a special body features, and it also has a different color patterns that set it apart from the other similar species. So there are similar species also, right? So they are not one single species. For example, human beings, one species, right? So human beings are one species. So there are other species also similar to the wasp species, but it is different from those species morphologically. Right? So potter wasps play a very important role in the conservation or sustenance of ecosystems and biodiversity because the potter wasps larvae feed on caterpillars and other insects. So because the caterpillar and other insects very often harm the plants. So thereby, when the larva of the potter wasps eat the larva, so eat the insects and caterpillars, so they generally work as natural pest control. However, the problem is that they are also facing the threat of extinction. How they are facing the threat of extinction? By using fertilizer, pesticides, and even environmental pollution. So all these factors are major threat of extinction of these species one by one. Now imagine that this species goes extinct. So if this species goes extinct, so do you think that this caterpillar species and other insect species can be controlled? No, they cannot be controlled. So if we don't control them, then they would attack the plants and even the agriculture as well, thereby substantially impacting the productivity and also food security as well. And that's why biodiversity is very, very important in any region. So I hope it is clear for you. And next, another important discovery in the state of Arunachal Pradesh again. So that is a new leafless orchid discovered in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so you can see that this is an orchid. This is a leafless. There are no leaves to this orchid, and it has been recently discovered in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and that's why it is in news. The news is that botanists have recently announced the discovery of a new orchid species. Okay, so what is the name of this new orchid species? The name of the species is Gastrodia lohitensis, right? So I hope you might know why it is called as lohitensis, because it has been newly discovered in the Lohit district of Arunachal Pradesh, and because of that reason it is named as Gastrodia lohitensis. So how questions may be asked? So questions may be asked like Gastrodia lohitensis is recently seen in news is which of the following is related to which of the following, right? So it is an orchid species that has been recently discovered in the Lohit district of Arunachal Pradesh. And in fact, the discovery of this Gastrodia lohitensis adds to India's list of very unique and endemic plants. So I hope you knew what is an endemic plant. So endemic plant or an endemic animal is any species, whether it is flora or fauna, but that is found in that particular region, and that species is called as endemic species, right? So there are a lot of endemic species. And then in fact, the Gastrodia lohitensis was discovered in bamboo thickets near Teju. Okay, so it was discovered in bamboo thickets near Teju, and in fact This Gastodia lohitensis thrives in dense shaded environments, and this orchid also relies on specific conditions which found in its habitat. And apart from that, another very significant finding about this orchid species is that it grows in areas where they receive limited sunlight, making it a very rare species because it could sustain itself even if there is a less availability of the sunlight. Because generally when we talk about the plants, so plants have chlorophyll, and in photosynthesis chlorophyll plays a very important role. But this Gastrodia lohitensis don't have leaves, and because of that reason it is able to sustain, it can able to sustain even in a limited sunlight conditions as well. Okay, so this Gastrodia lohitensis is a leafless orchid which is unusual for plants. So generally plants lacking leaves is unusual because plants they sustain themselves through the process of photosynthesis. For the process of photosynthesis, leaves are very important, and that's why it is an unusual for plants. So however, in this Gastrodia in lohitensis species, instead of photosynthesis, it extracts nutrients from fungi and even decomposing leaf litter. Okay, so that's how it usually extract the nutrients, and that's why it is very unique and important as well. And this adaptation allows this plant species to survive in low light conditions. It showcases plants unique evolutionary traits as well. So unique evolutionary traits means, so despite lacking leaves, so if it don't have leaves, then it cannot perform photosynthesis. So if it cannot perform photosynthesis, how it could sustain, right? So it could sustain through these evolutionary adaptations or traits, right? So because it has been extracting nutrients from fungi and also decomposing the leaf litter, and it can be able to grow in limited sunlight environments as well, and that's why this orchid species is very special and important, right? So I hope you remember this. Next is, recently a union cabinet headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi has approved the Tato 1 hydroelectricity project in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So we'll try to understand about this Tato 1 hydroelectric project in the state of Arunachal. So remember that the state of Arunachal Pradesh has the huge potential of generating the hydroelectricity, right? So it is important to tap the hydroelectricity potential of most of the northeastern states so that a power can be generated in a renewable manner. And in fact, so we could also limit our dependence on fossil fuels like coal as well. So that's why it is very important that the government of India has been looking to tap the potential of hydroelectricity in most of the states of northeast, right? So the decision are taken by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. Remember that the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs is generally headed by the Prime Minister. And in fact, the Cabinet Committee has recently sanctioned 1,750 crore for the Tato 1 hydroelectricity project in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And in fact, this project aims to enhance the power supply in the region, right? So whatever power which has been generated through Tattoo 1 hydroelectricity project will be supplied to the region. And in fact, it is also expected to generate approximately 802 million units of electricity every year. So that would be a game changer because of a huge electricity that it has been producing, right? So it can not just produce electricity, it can also export electricity to other states as well. right? So the expected completion time for this Tato 1 hydroelectricity project is 50 months, which includes all phases of construction and also the operational setup as well. Right? So this Tato 1 hydroelectricity project is expected to stimulate the socio-economic development in the region. So it could stimulate the socio-economic development in the region that will lead to improvements in infrastructure. And local communities will certainly benefit from increased access to electricity and related services as well. So you can see that there will be a multiplier effect because of such a hydroelectricity project, because of the government's intention to tap the hydroelectricity resources. And the electricity that has been generated from the Tato 1 hydroelectricity project would support the national power grid, right? So there will be a national power grid, and the energy that has been generated by different means would be linked to the national power grid, and the electricity generated will support the national power grid. So that is crucial, and that is also very important for meeting the growing energy demands across different parts of India. And in fact, this project also aligns with the national goals for energy security and also the sustainability as well. So I hope you have understood about this. So in this, it is very important that you need to remember it would generate approximately 802 million units of electricity each year. So Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has sanctioned 1,750 crores for this project. So you have to remember all these important facts. So the next topic is Hump World War II Museum opens in Arunachal, and the US aircraft wreckage was also on a display, right? So it is very important. So we need to talk about this as well. We need to discuss about this as well. Okay. So the US ambassador to India, who is Eric Garcetti, Mr. Eric Garcetti, along with the Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister Pema Khandu, inaugurated the Hump World War II Museum at Pasighat in Eastern Siang district. Right? So they have opened up this at Pasighat in Eastern Siang district. So you need to remember this. Okay. So Hump World War II Museum has been located in which of the following places? So you should remember this. And Hump World War II Museum is a unique museum set up to house remains of American aircraft that was came down in Arunachal during the Second World War. So during Second World War, what happened was America was an allied power. So that fought against Japan. So America was an allied power, and American aircraft was one of the American aircraft was fallen down in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so this was a unique museum set up to house remains of an American aircraft that was came down in Arunachal during the Second World War. And in fact, during World War II, the dangerous route over the Eastern Himalayas, known as the Hump. Okay, so the dangerous route over the Eastern Himalayas is known as the Hump, witnessed the greatest sustained aerial transport. Okay, so there was a greater amount of aerial transport by US Air Force because the dangerous route over the Eastern Himalayas is the hump. So it's not possible to transport essentials through, roadways because it was very, very dangerous in the Eastern Himalayas. And that's why the hump witnessed the greatest aerial transport by the US Air Force, overcoming the extreme terrain and the climate in the northeastern part of India. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. So let's proceed on to the next topic. So that is the ninth Pakke Paga Hornbill Festival. So that has been recently held in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. Right, so we'll understand what is this ninth Pakke Paga Hornbill Festival that has been recently held in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So this ninth Pakke Paga Hornbill Festival is scheduled from January 18 to 20 in 2024 in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, right? So it has been scheduled in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, and in fact, it has declared as the state festival. The Pakke Paga Hornbill Festival has been described or declared as the state festival. So therefore, it emphasizes wildlife conservation, particularly hornbills within the Pakke Tiger Reserve. So in Pakke Tiger Reserve or Pakwai Tiger Reserve, so that is also a very important tiger reserve in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And in fact, there was also a UPSC prelims question on Pakwai or tiger reserve also. Okay, in Pakwai Tiger Reserve, we could find a hornbill species, right? So this festival is recognized as a state festival, and in fact, it is particularly emphasizes on wildlife conservation, particularly hornbills. So that you can see these hornbills: great hornbill, wreathed hornbill, rufous-necked hornbill, and brown hornbill. Okay, so this Pakwai Tiger Reserve is considered as home to four different hornbill species. So there may be a question that which of the following ecosystem or which of the following protected area is known as home to a four hornbill species, right? So such questions may be asked, and in fact, this Pakwai Tiger Reserve is also home to endangered red hornbill. So this hornbill is endangered red hornbill. And the Pakwai Tiger Reserve is also home to this endangered red hornbill. And this is not just home to this particular hornbill, rather it is also home to great hornbill, rufous-necked hornbill, and brown hornbill as well. And what is the aim and objective of Pakke Paga Hornbill Festival? The festival's aim is to raise awareness about their overall preservation. Okay, so this is ninth Pakke Paga Hornbill Festival. So next is a Baichom or Baikom becomes the 27th district of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so sorry for mispronunciation. So if I pronounce this wrongly, so Baikom becomes the 27th district of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so CM Pema Khandu has inaugurated this Baikom as the 27th district of Arunachal Pradesh. So this is the 27th district of Arunachal Pradesh, right? I hope it is clear for you. And in fact, so it has been formed from West or East Command District with its headquarters. This Baikom new district's headquarter will be Nanangpung. Sorry, Napangpung. So Napangpung will be the new headquarters of this command district, fulfilling a demand since 1984. So there was a long pending demand from this particular region that a Bicom should be reorganized as a new district. So it was a long pending demand from 1984, and rightly it was described as, so it was recognized as the 27th district of Arunachal Pradesh. And in fact, so on this eve, Arunachal Pradesh Chief Minister has also flagged off Arunachal Gramin Express Yojana vehicles as well. Okay, so you can see on this image, Assembly passes Arunachal Pradesh Reorganization of Districts Amendment Bill of 2024 for the creation of two new districts. One is KE Panur. Okay, so one district is KE Panur that is located somewhere here, and the Baikom or Baichom district headquartered in Napang Pung. So these are two new districts that have been formed recently in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And the next topic is India's first oil palm processing unit has commenced in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so this is very important, this is significant. Okay, so because understand one thing, I would like to give you a brief background here, and then we'll proceed on to discuss this as well. So, Government of India has launched National Mission on Oil Palm. National Mission on Oil Palm. Now, why government started a national mission on oil palm and oil seeds? So the reason is there is a huge demand for cooking oil in India. A huge demand for cooking oil in India, and the demand is so huge that we have been importing a huge quantities of the cooking oil from other countries. Now, what are the disadvantages of importing such a huge amount of oil from other countries? So it cost us a lot of foreign exchange, right? So foreign exchange is important for any country. We could use the foreign exchange to strengthen our rupee, to further strengthen our economy, and also finance the essential needs of our economy. So, in order to achieve self sufficiency, self reliance, what the government has been doing, the government has been encouraging the cultivation of oil seeds and oil palm from which vegetable oil or cooking oil can be extracted. So, thereby, India will become self sufficient when it comes to the cooking oil, like through green revolution. So earlier we used to import food grain from other countries. So after green revolution, India became self-sufficient in food production and food consumption. And in fact, India became the next exporter of food grain. So in a similar way, the government of India has launched National Mission on Oil Palm and Oilseed. And in fact, Northeast India is also identified as one of the most priority areas of this national mission on oil palm and oil seed. Right? So this is also one of the most priority area for the government. So I hope you have understood the background. So now let's get into this. So India's first oil palm processing unit, right? So oil palm that a farmer cultivates will be processed in these unit, and India's first oil palm processing unit is located in Roing, Arunachal Pradesh, and it is operated by VF Oil Palm, right? So it is being operated by VF Oil Palm. And in fact, the unit is located in Roing in the lower Dibang Valley of Arunachal Pradesh, right? So it is located in the lower Dipang Valley of Arunachal Pradesh, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually inaugurated the unit on March 9, 2024. So on March 9, 2024, Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually inaugurated India's first oil palm processing unit. Now, in fact, this oil palm processing unit in Roing, Arunachal Pradesh is established as part of National Mission on Oil Seed and Oil Palm. Right. So, as I've already told you, that Northeast is one of the priority areas under this mission. And in fact, this National Mission on Oil Palm and Oil Seed, or India's first palm oil processing unit, aimed at boosting farmer income in the Northeast, and in fact, it represents a significant step in achieving Atmanirbharta in edible oils. So I hope you know what is Atmanirbharta, that I have already explained to you. So Atmanirbharta means self-sufficiency. It means self-reliance. Like how we have achieved Atmanirbharta in food grain production. In a similar way, we should also achieve Atmanirbharta in the cooking fuel as well, or cooking oil as well. So that is the objective of this national mission on oil seed, oil palm, and as part of it, India's first oil palm processing unit has been established. Next is, recently, Arunachal Pradesh state government has passed a bill to prevent unfair means in the examination. So, in recent times, what generally happening is that there have been allegations of, question paper leakage, and in fact, unfair means are being used with respect to examination. There were a lot of such allegations, not just in the state of Arunachal Pradesh, but throughout different parts of India. So that has compelled the union government to come up with a particular legislation. So, in a similar way, the state of Arunachal Pradesh has also passed a bill to prevent unfair means in the examinations, because previously there were allegations of the unfair means of being used in a competitive examination conducted by the Arunachal Pradesh Public Service Commission. So this Arunachal Pradesh Legislative Assembly has passed a landmark bill, and this landmark bill aimed at preventing unfair practices in public examinations, right? So the legislation was Arunachal Pradesh Public Examination Measures for the Prevention of Unfair Means in Recruitment Bill 2024. So that has been approved by the voice vote in the state legislative assemblies. However, it is important for us to understand some key provisions of this Arunachal Pradesh Public Examination Measures for Prevention of Unfair Means in Recruitment Bill. This particular legislation has come in the wake of a multi-paper leakage scandal, and this multi-paper leakage scandal has actually rocked the entire Arunachal Pradesh Public Service Commission examination. Okay, because there were allegations of paper leakage, right? So therefore the new bill introduces several penalties for those who are involved in the exam malpractices, whoever adopted these unfair practices. So that includes fines of up to 1 crore and imprisonment ranging from 3 to 10 years. So 3 to 10 years would be the imprisonment for people who have been engaged in such unfair means. The legislation also applies to examinations which are being conducted by various state bodies, including the Appscce, so that is Arunachal Pradesh State Staff Selection Board, and also a state funded universities as well. So that is the objective, to prevent the unfair means, to prevent malpractices in the examination. Okay, so the next topic is Arunachal Pradesh boosts medical education and also cancer research initiative. So as part of it, so we'll try to understand what is the Arunachal Pradesh government's intention with respect to promoting or enhancing existing medical facilities, and also its intention to be part of a cancer research. So recently, Arunachal Pradesh plans to establish 3 new medical colleges, right? So there are comprehensive plans which are put in place to establish 3 new medical colleges in East Siang, Namsai, and West Kameng districts through a public-private partnership. Right? So, what is a public-private partnership? So, public-private partnership means that any project or anything which is set up by both the government as well as the private firm as well, because private firm may have the technology, right? So private firm may have the expertise, managerial capabilities, so that would benefit both the government and the private sector as well. So this would be a win-win situation. So therefore Arunachal Pradesh government has been planning to establish 3 new medical colleges in East Siang, Namsai, and West Kameng districts to PPP mode. And in fact, Tomo Riba Institute of Health and Medical Sciences in Itanagar has doubled its MBBS seats to 100, with 85 reserved for Arunachal Pradesh scheduled tribe students. And in fact, Arunachal Pradesh state government has also signed a memorandum of understanding with Dr. B. Burrough Cancer Institute, Assam. Okay, so this research institute of Assam has signed an MOU with the government of Arunachal Pradesh, and this MOU has been aiming to enhance cancer research in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. So I hope you have understood this, and you need to remember that Cancer Research Institute. So next topic is Pankaj Tripathi. So Pankaj Tripathi is a Bollywood actor. So he's very famous actor in the Mirzapur web series. So Pankaj Tripathi promotes Arunachal Pradesh Theatre Festival, right? So he will be promoting Arunachal Pradesh Theatre Festival because it is important that someone who is well known to public should promote the culture, should promote tourism of different regions. So that would attract people to come and visit the state, and that would boost the economy, right? So that would give fillip to the local economy, and that also helps the state government as well. So actor Pankaj Tripathi appointed Festival Ambassador for Arunachal Rang Mahotsav 2024, Arunachal Rang Mahotsav of 2024, and it is an international theatre festival that is held in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. And in fact, the event running until December 5 celebrates Arunachal Pradesh rich cultural heritage and creative talent. And in fact, so Pankaj Tripathi is the festival ambassador for Arunachal Pradesh Rang Mahotsav 2024. And as I've already told you that Pankaj Tripathi was a well-known or is well-known and he's acclaimed for roles such as Gangs of Wasepur, Mirzapur, and in fact he is also honored to support the growth of theatre in Northeast India. So that would help popularize the culture, popularize the theatre and art forms of northeastern part of India. And that is very, very important for any state, right? So the next topic is Arunachal Pradesh state government has launched mission Arun Himveer. Okay, so we'll understand what is this mission Arun Himveer. What is the objective of Arun Himveer? So that has been recently launched by Arunachal Pradesh state government. So it is about giving a boost to market linkages for agriculture and horticulture producers of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so Arunachal Pradesh state government has been decided to boost market linkages. So as of now, for Indian farmers largely, it is very difficult to find a market that ensures that provides them remunerative prices for their produce. Very often, governments have been interfering or governments have been intervening. So farmers earn a decent livelihood. So farmers also remain profitable. So when they sell the produce in the markets where they get a remunerative price. So in order to boost the market linkages for the agricultural and horticultural producers of Arunachal Pradesh, recently the state government has decided to launch Mission Arun Himavir. Okay, so Mission Arun Himavir has been launched by the state government of Arunachal Pradesh. So the state government of Arunachal Pradesh under this program signed a memorandum of understanding with Arunachal Pradesh Agriculture Marketing Board and also the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, right? So Indo-Tibetan Border Police Northeast Frontier. So in the presence of Arunachal Chief Minister Pema Khandu. So under the memorandum of understanding that was signed recently, the state government will supply fruits, vegetables, meat, poultry products to the Indo-Tibetan Border Police. Okay, so the state government itself supply all essential food items to the Indo-Tibetan Border Police, and these food items will be procured from the local farmers, self-help groups, farmer producer organizations, and farmer cooperatives, and the procurement will be done by the Arunachal Pradesh Agriculture Marketing Board, right? So Arunachal Pradesh Agriculture Marketing Board will procure all these essential food items and then they will be supplied to the ITPP. For this particular reason, an MOU has been signed by Arunachal Pradesh State Government, and Arunachal Pradesh Agricultural Marketing Board, and Indo-Tibetan Border Police under Mission Arun Himavir. So I hope you have understood this. It is clear for you. And in fact, this memorandum of understanding under Mission Arun Himavir follows the first such understanding that was already made between the state of Arunachal Pradesh and the Indian Army in August 2022. So earlier it was with the Indian Army in the year 2022. So now the ITBP is also roped in. Okay. So I hope it is clear for you. And in next part, so there are some important national parks, biodiversity, or biosphere reserves in India, particularly the northeastern part of India. So we'll try to understand them as well briefly, right? Because it is important. There may be questions which are being framed around these important aspects as well. So therefore, we should also look into those important national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. So you can find at least two or three questions which are being framed directly or indirectly on these topics as well. So therefore, it is very important for us to understand these important things. The first is Dihing Patkai National Park or Wildlife Sanctuary, right? So this Dihing Patkai National Park or Wildlife Sanctuary is located in the state of Assam. Okay, so we'll try to understand some important aspects with respect to this national park. And in fact, this Dihing Patkai National Park or Wildlife Sanctuary is located on the foothills of Patkai Hills. So we'll try to locate that as well, right? So in the next page, I'm going to show you the northeastern, map of northeastern region and also northeastern India, and also some national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and important tiger reserves, all those things. Okay, so it is located in the foothills of Patka Hills and Dihing River that flows through uh, the region, and also called Jaipur rainforest. Okay, so this is also called as Jaipur rainforest. So don't forget this because this is very important. Okay, so in fact, this Dihing Patkai National Park harbors largest stretch of lowland rainforest in India, right? So it hosts the largest set of lowland rainforests in India. And apart from that, the Digboy oil refinery. So this is oldest refinery in Asia. So there may be a question that which of the following are known as the oldest refineries in Asia? That is Digboy oil refinery in the state of Assam. And also Lido coal mines are located very close to this Dihing Patkai National Park. Okay, so they are located very close. So there's Lido coal mines as well as Digboy oil refinery. And in fact, so this Dihing Patkai National Park is known for the highest concentration of white-winged wood duck. So that is endangered as per IUCN Red List. And in fact, it is also the state bird of Assam. This white-winged wood duck is the state bird of Assam. And generally, when we talk about the vegetation of the Hingpatkai National Park, so Assam Valley tropical wet evergreen forest and also rainforest with distinct four layers. And major fauna of this national park include elephant, tiger, leopard, clouded leopard, golden cat, fishing cat, marble cat, hog deer, and also sloth bear as well. And major avifauna including oriental darter, lesser adjutant, greater spotted eagle, hornbills, hill myna, and there are some threats also, such as coal mining, oil extraction, tea gardens, village settlements, and deforestation. So all these are major threats to Dehang Patkai National Park or Wildlife Sanctuary in the state of Assam. Okay, now you can see here. I hope it is you can see here. So this is Dehang Patkai National Park. Okay, so Dikhing Patkai National Park is located here. So almost on the eastern part of uh, the state of Assam. Okay, so very close to this Arunachal Pradesh. So you can say that this is also to some extent spreads to the northeastern part of India as well. Now, apart from that, so kindly pause the video, okay, and also from the state of Arunachal Pradesh, kindly look at all important national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and tiger reserves, right? So, for example, we talked about Pakwai Tiger Reserve. So, this is Pakwai Tiger Reserve on the western part of Arunachal Pradesh. And we also talked about Namdapha National Park. So, this is where Namdapha National Park is located. And this is where Kamlang National Park in Assam is located. Sorry, Arunachal Pradesh is located. But apart from that, in Assam, there are a large number of biosphere reserves, tiger reserves, and national parks. So first, we'll try to look into those important national parks. Okay, so you just pause the video and you can go through all these important national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and tiger reserves. So next is Dibru Saikhowa National Park or Biosphere Reserve. Okay, so you can see here, so this is the Dibru River and this is the left bank tributary of river Brahmaputra. Okay, so left bank tributary of river Brahmaputra, the Dibru River and Lohit River and Dibang River and Siang River, right? So Siang and Dibang, so they merge and then it becomes a Brahmaputra River. Okay, so this is a Lohit River as well. Okay, so this is the Lohit River and this Dibru Saikhowa National Park or Biosphere Reserve. So it is being bounded by Brahmaputra River and Lohit River, right? So it is being bounded by Brahmaputra River as well as Lohit rivers in the north and Dibru River in the south. So you can see here that this is the Dibru River in the south. So this is Dibru Saikhowa National Park. So this is the location of Dibru Saikhowa National Park because it is bounded by Dibru River in the south and Brahmaputra and Lohit rivers in the north. So I hope it is clear for you. And in fact, it is famous for feral horses, right? So feral horses are found in this Dibru Saikhowa National Park, right? So these there may be a question. So which national park is very famous for the feral horses? So these feral horses are actually the descendants of horses. Okay, so they are descendants of horses who bolted out of stable setup by a British army in and around Tinsukia during World War II. Okay, so these are feral horses, and this Dibru Saikhowa National Park is very well known for these feral horses. Sorry, horses. And vegetation, what kind of a vegetation that we normally find? So, a wet evergreen and semi evergreen deciduous littoral swamp forest, right? So this forest or this type of vegetation is found in the Brusaikova National Park, which is very close to the Brahmaputra River and major fauna type, right? So that we could found in the Brusaikova National Park, including Bengal tiger, Indian leopard, clouded leopard, sloth bear, dole, Gangetic dolphin, right? So remember this Gangetic dolphin that we could find in Brahmaputra waters, Ganga River waters, and Chambal River waters, right? So, Gangetic dolphin, Asian elephant, wild boar, sambar, hog deer, and barking deer. So all these are the major fauna species of Dibru Saikhowa National Park. So you need to go through all these important you know the fauna species. Next is Kaziranga Tiger Reserve and National Park. So this is also very important, right? So I hope you knew the location of Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve. So it is located in the state of Assam, and Kaziranga Tiger Reserve and National Park is also very well known for the one-horned rhinoceros. Okay, so the Kaziranga National Park lies in the eastern Himalayan biodiversity hotspot. Okay, so it is located in the eastern Himalayan biodiversity hotspot, and Brahmaputra River flows through this Kaziranga National Park. So that is very important and very significant because Brahmaputra River flows through Kaziranga National Park, and it is located in the eastern Himalayan biodiversity hotspot. Okay, so we have three important biodiversity hotspots. Okay, so uh, Western Ghats, biodiversity hotspot, Himalayas, and Indo-Burma. Right, so Indo-Burma and Western Ghats and Himalaya. So three important biodiversity hotspots, and Kaziranga National Park is located in the eastern Himalayan biodiversity hotspot, and Brahmaputra River flows through this park. And this park that hosts around two-thirds of world's one-horned rhinoceros, right? So it holds two-thirds of world's one-horned rhinoceros is a World Heritage Site, right? So this is known as a World Heritage Site. So we'll also talk about the World Heritage Sites, in next lecture. So it is recognized as important bird area by BirdLife International. And in fact, when we talk about the vegetation, alluvial grasslands, savanna woodlands, tropical moist deciduous, and semi-evergreen forests are part of this Kaziranga National Park. So you can see that the vegetation is very, very diverse. And the major flora species are spear grass, elephant grass, common reed, cotton tree, and elephant apple. So these are major flora types, and this is the vegetation type that we see in Kaziranga National Park. So, however, the fauna, uh, which is very important with respect to Kaziranga Tiger Reservoir National Park, is one-horned rhinoceros. It is vulnerable as per IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. And then Royal Bengal tiger, Asian elephant, wild water buffalo. So wild water buffalo again is considered as endangered as per the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, right? So and the swamp deer, so they are collectively known as Big Five of Kaziranga, right? So what are Big Five of Kaziranga? There may be a question, right? So there may be a question on this. What are big five of Kaziranga? So one-horned rhinoceros, Royal Bengal tiger, Asian elephant, and wild water buffalo and swamp deer. So they are known as big five of Kaziranga. So other important fauna including fishing cat, small Indian seawort, cloth bear, Chinese pangolins, and Indian pangolins. Right. So if you want, you can go to that map and you could see the location of Kaziranga National Park. Next is Manas Biosphere Reserve, National Park and a Tiger Reserve. So it is being accorded the UNESCO Natural World Heritage Site. Okay, so it is accorded UNESCO Natural World Heritage Site, and it is located on the Himalayan foothills, right? So Manas Biosphere Reserve is located on the Himalayan foothills, and it is contiguous with Royal Manas National Park, Bhutan. Okay, so it is lies in the Royal Manas National Park, Bhutan. Manas River is a tributary of Brahmaputra and passes through the heart of the national park, right? So it passes through the heart of the national park, the Manas River. So most probably because of that reason, it is known as Manas Biosphere Reserve. And in fact, it is located in Babar Terai region with a riverine succession makes it one of the most richest biodiversity, most fertile areas in the region. And when we talk about the vegetation, again, it hosts diverse vegetation, semi-evergreen forests, moist, dry deciduous forests, savanna woodland, grasslands. So major fauna species including again wild water buffalo. So that is endangered as per IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. Ispid hare, pygmy hawk, Rhinoceros. So rhinoceros was reintroduced into the Manas National Park in the year 2007. So you should remember this. Elephants, sambar, Chinese pangolin, and clouded leopards are the major fauna that we could find in Manas Biosphere Reserve or National Park or Tiger Reserve. And in fact, this is also an elephant reserve, right? So ER means elephant reserve. So major avifauna including world's largest population of endangered Bengal floricon is found in the Manas Biosphere Reserve National Park. Okay, so this is very important and significant that you need to remember it. World's largest population of the endangered Bengal floricon. So other major bird species include great hornbills, pelicans, eagles, and herons as well. So this is about Manas National Park. So next is Nameri Tiger Reserve or Nameri National Park. So you can also see the map here. So this is where the Nameri National Park or Tiger Reserve, and in fact it is lies on the Assam and Arunachal Pradesh border, and that's why it is very close to the Pakwai Tiger Reserve also. So that's why you need to remember this. Okay, so Naimeri Tiger Reserve or National Park is located in the foothills of Eastern Himalayas, and a coming river flows through along its southern boundary. So along southern boundary, coming river flows, and in fact its northern boundary is shared with Pakke Tiger Reserve. So you can see here, so this is where the Pakke Tiger Reserve is located. So Kameng River flows through the southern boundary of Nameri Tiger Reserve, and in fact the Nameri Tiger Reserve has two core areas. So one is Nameri National Park and Sonai Rupai Wildlife Sanctuary. And again, major flora including holok, ajar, nahor, and orchids. And major fauna including tiger, leopard, sambar, dole, gaur, clouded leopard. So clouded leopard again is known as vulnerable species as per IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. Barking deer, marbled cat, Himalayan black deer, capped langur, Indian giant squirrel. So all these are major fauna species that we could found in the Nameri Tiger Reserve. So major avifauna including white-winged wood duck, and also so remember that this white-winged wood duck is the a state bird of Assam as well. So threats including logging, human-elephant conflicts, poaching. So all these are the major threats in Nameri Tiger Reserve. So next is Rajiv Gandhi Orang National Park or Tiger Reserve. Okay, so it is important for us to identify where is this Rajiv Gandhi Orang National Park or Tiger Reserve is located. So you can see here. So this is the place where on the right side of Brahmaputra River, you can see Rajiv Gandhi Orang National Park and Tiger Reserve is located. Okay, so it lies on the right bank of Brahmaputra River. So you can see it lies on the right bank of Brahmaputra River, and Pachnoi River and Belsiri River and Dhansiri River border the park. So it is also important which of these following rivers flows through the park, right? So this park formed alluvial floodplains. So they form alluvial floodplains, and it is also integral part of Indo-Burma hotspot of biodiversity. Okay, so this is an integral part of the Indo-Burma hotspot of biodiversity. So vegetation include moist deciduous forest, swamp forest, wet alluvial and savanna grasslands. So major fauna species including Indian rhinoceros, pygmy hog, Asian elephant, wild water buffalo, Bengal tiger, hog deer, Gangetic dolphin and Indian pangolin. So these are major fauna species, and there are some non-human primates also such as rhesus macaque. So rhesus macaque is a species which found in which of the following national parks. So there may be a question that would be asked, and which of the following rivers flows through Rajiv Gandhi Orang National Park. There may be a question that would be framed, and this would form part of which of the following biodiversity hotspot. So that may be a question, and IUCN status of these different species. For example, Rhinoceros is vulnerable, pygmy hawk is endangered, and apart from that, Asian elephant and wild water buffalo are endangered species. And Gangetic dolphin again endangered species. Indian pangolin is an endangered species. So next is Raimona National Park. So you can see here, this is where Raimona National Park is located, and we can say that this is the border area between Bhutan and Assam. Okay, so it is located along the Himalayan foothills. So these are known as Himalayan foothills. Together, the Baksa Tiger Reserve of West Bengal and Pipso Wildlife Sanctuary and Jigme Singye Wangchuk National Park in Bhutan. Okay, so in Bhutan there are also Pipso Wildlife Sanctuary and Jigme Singye Wangchuk National Park as well. And in fact, it is being bounded by Sankosh River on the west. Okay, so on the west of this Raimona National Park, there is the Sankosh River and also Saral Banga River on the east. So Saral Banga River on the east and in the Indo-Bhutan border. So I've told you that this is located on the Indo-Bhutan border. So on the north and Ripu RF on the south. So Ripu RF means a Ripu Reserve Forest on the south of this Raimona National Park, and it is also one of the moist deciduous and semi-evergreen forest types. And major fauna that we could see in Raimona National Park, including Asian elephant, Bengal tiger, clouded leopard, its IUCN status is vulnerable, Indian gaur, Indian wild water buffalo, and cheetal hornbill. Okay, so these are all major fauna species, and there are also some non-human primates as well. Golden langur. So there are questions. The golden langur generally found in which of these following places: Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Himalayas, Northeastern Himalayas. Right. So golden langur is endemic to the region and named as the muscat of the Bodoland region, right? So it is the muscat of the Bodoland region and it is also endemic to the region. I've already told you what is endemic, right? So endemic means any species which is confined, which is found in that particular location. So that is known as endemic, right? So that's all in this lecture and thank you so much. So if you like our lectures, please subscribe our YouTube channel and also hit like button. Thank you.